because I'm going to knock them off, Tony.
I got socks.
I told Tony not to wear socks when she asked me to speak here because I said they're just going to fly right off. But apparently tables are what flying off the stage tonight, so you didn't come prepared, Tony. So thank you so much for having me here to talk about two of my absolute favorite things, Girls State and Girls Nation. Now, when Tony talked to me about speaking, she said, just the highlights, just tell them kind of what was important to you and what really stood out. So everybody top off your coffee, because I figure I can do about half the highlights in 3 to 4 hours. We're in for a long night. And I mean, I say that as a joke, but quite honestly, Girls State and Girls Nation are the two most pivotal experiences I have ever had in my entire life. Both of them changed the direction that my life was going and really have influenced almost every single decision I've made since. So a little background about me. I was a Girls State delegate in 2013. I'm from Pocatello, Idaho. Whoop, whoop. I'm from Pocatello, Idaho, and going to Girls State, I was the first in my family to ever go. First to ever even hear about the American Legion Auxiliary. So I had no idea what to expect. All I knew is that we stayed on the campus of Northwest Nazarene for a week. We woke up at 6 in the morning, didn't go to bed till 11, walked out in the heat, and we had to wear pantyhose. What a way to sell it, right? But I went. I buckled down and I decided that I was gonna go. I show up on the first day, they make us get on the bus at 4 in the morning. We show up to NNU, I check in, I get to my city, and I don't know anyone. They throw me into an environment, don't know anyone from my hometown, I feel like I'm a complete stranger. And what I didn't know in that moment was that was going to be the best week, one of the best weeks of my life. And that was the true magic of Girls State. Because the thing that we always say about Girls State is that you don't know how awesome it is unless you've been there. It's almost indescribable, the magic that happens. Because girls like me show up, who don't know about the program, who've never heard of the American Legion Auxiliary, and by the end of the week, we have this instilled sense of patriotism. We've made best friends with all these girls, and even the quietest wallflowers that you can ever think of, the girls who didn't want to go, who were clinging to their moms as they pushed them out the door at NNU, they find a thing to do. We have girls who are reporters. We have girls who come and play the guitar. We have girls that do clogging dance numbers, and they have a place at Girls State. I had the great fortune of being a city councilwoman in my city, and then I've had the great fortune again to become the Chief Justice of our Girls State delegation. It was awesome, yeah. And so at Girls State, I learned a lot about the governmental process. I met friends that I still have to this day. I mean, pick a town in Idaho, even Mud Lake, Idaho, that I didn't know existed. I've got a couch to crash on there if I'm passing through. If I take a blink, I'll pass right through the town, but the couch is there for me. So I made those valuable connections. And at the end of the week, I was actually nominated by my city and then selected by the Girls State Board to attend Girls Nation, which is the follow-up program to Girls State. Now, this one, again, did not know about it at all. And what was extra appealing is take that heat of June, move it to July, send us to Washington, D.C., but here's where they get you. They make you wear a green polo that makes you look like a watermelon. Really sold it, let me tell you. But at Girls Nation, the way it works is they take two individuals from Girls States across the country, and there's two from each state, and they go to Washington, D.C. and participate in the federal government level of Girls State, so the national nation. That's where it all comes from. So I got to meet people from so many different backgrounds. I had a roommate from Denver, a roommate from Alabama, and a roommate from Kansas, 3 states that I had never even been to. So not only did I get to experience their diverse backgrounds, but we also got to collaborate on all of our different ideas about policy, about how government should be run. And the funny thing is, you'd think that we're all about the same age, we'd all have about the same ideas. It's not super different populations, but it's actually a very good representation of the national government. So there's lots of different ideologies. There was quite a bit of clash in the debates. And so it was a really good opportunity to experience the diversity that is the United States of America. And on top of it all, we did get to meet President Obama in the East Wing of the White House. So that was a pretty nice cherry on top for the week of Girls Nation. It made wearing the watermelon polo a little bit more worth it. But I wanted to tell you about some of the highlights that have happened in my life after my delegation year, both at Girls State and Girls Nation, and to kind of emphasize to you how much it has drastically changed my life and how just much it has improved it. So, as I was applying for colleges the fall after I attended Girls Nation, wherever I could in my applications, I mentioned, hey, Girls State, Girls Nation delegate, or if I was writing an essay or a personal statement, I took those experiences that I was able to have in Washington, D.C. and put them into my work. This led to me being accepted to 7 out of 7 universities that I applied to, including the University of Chicago, which is one of the most prestigious universities in the nation. So that was one awesome benefit. Ultimately, I did decide to attend Idaho State University in Pocatello. I'm a third-generation Bengal, so wanted to follow in my family's footsteps. But being a part of Girls State and Girls Nation, because of the leadership experience I gained there, I was awarded over $30,000 in scholarship money for the next 4 years and was able to complete my undergraduate coursework with 0 debt. No student debt at all, completely paid for by the school. So thank you, Girls State and Girls Nation. I was also able to serve as the Associated Students of Idaho State University, ASISU, Vice President just as a sophomore in college, becoming the youngest female vice president in ISU's 116-year history, thanks to Girls Nation and Girls State. And because I went to Girls Nation, I was able to return to Girls State as a staff member and have returned every year since, by far one of my most rewarding opportunities. And the cherry on top, because I was a Girls Nation delegate, I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the TV show. My episode has not aired yet, so I can't tell you any details, but if you watch, keep an eye out. Same hair, wearing a floral top. Trust me, you'll know. But I could go on for hours about all the doors that Girls State and Girls Nation has opened up. Friends, jobs, a vast network of alumni that not only helped me with my college applications, but if I want a job or if they're just passing through town. There is so much to be gained from attending Girls State and Girls Nation. But there was one impression that I wanted to leave with you tonight. And it started at Girls Nation. And let me tell you, these programs, they don't just make passing AP government easier because you've been. This experience taught me about my active role in the American democracy. Part of the nation experience is to meet with your state representatives and senators, and I had the privilege of meeting with Senator Jim Risch. Now in this meeting, he really emphasized that his generation, the Washington was a mess, and that things had really been bogged down, and that us, the future leaders, we were the ones who were going to come in and fix it. And this impression lasted long after my meeting with Senator Risch, long after I got off the plane back to Idaho, and honestly still gives me goosebumps to this day. We are the future leaders. Little did I know that just a few short years later, it would be more important than ever that people of my generation played active roles in the American democracy and that we really cared about what was happening in this country. I know from the network of Nation alumni that I'm part of that there are Girls State, Boys Nation, Boys Nation alumni across the country running for office of all ages, of all delegation years. They're running for office, they're getting involved in the American government system. I can honestly tell you, I would not have had the skills or the confidence to run for ISU's vice president if I had not attended Girls Nation and Girls State. So, what the Girls Nation and Girls State program ultimately taught me is that I can influence my government, that I can work to keep the United States a safe and free place for many generations to come. So thank you to the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary for putting on these programs and inspiring youth like me and inspiring youth every single year to take more of an active role in the government and to take control of what's happening in their country, and for putting on programs that shape the future builders of America. I can honestly tell you I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But because of you all here, I know that I'm going to be a good one. Thank you.